Morning, guys. So we got this new column called confirmation, and that just simply checks the rows. So we don't have to look left and right. It saves us from having to do that, which is a little bit exhausting if you think about it. We're looking left and right all the time. This does that for us, which is pretty cool. Loss is telling us that the retail herd are getting paid. That would be unusual. A win tells us that they're at a loss. So we want to be looking at the wins and potentially reversals on the losses. Um, there is like a caveat, is that we did have some Eurozone inflation data. So that is going to impact the euro. So you must check your calendar. It's really important. You wouldn't just enter blindly, especially if you've got like high severity risk events such as inflation data, because that's very key. And that's going to be something that's going to be monitored by the big fish and the banks. They're going to be eyeing that data, so that's going to it's going to supersede sentiment. Okay, so obviously it should be fairly common sense, that kind of thing. So we ideally we could look for reversals, but I think it's a little bit risky because it may not reverse. But we do know the wins. We know that the retail herd are currently getting punished, and that'll be normal. So Aussie New Zealand dollar could be a good one. The reason for it is that we haven't moved a great deal on the day. Now, if you see the euro yen, we have moved quite substantially. We have got gas left in the tank for the day, but wouldn't it be better to enter a trade when it's just sitting at its daily open? So currently, um, what it's doing is looking for direction, and the retail traders won't have visibility of the sentiment, so they're going to be quite unsure about the direction. But we will know with a good degree of confidence, about 70–80%, we should be going higher, because what normally happens is that price punishes the majority, and if they're gonna short it, which is what they're doing, then we should be higher. So that gives us like an edge over our peers, over the other retail traders. So we can see Aussie Kiwi, they've actually really substantially reduced their longs, which is bullish. We come over here, Euro Kiwi, they've increased their shorts, which is bullish. So that's like the confirmation. So we don't necessarily have to look left and right now. This will do it for us, which is really cool. So Aussie Kiwi. So what you could do is click that, and then it just loads the information. It was quite quick, which is quite nice. See, we've got the divergence there, so that's a good sign. That's like a punishment sign. That's good for us. Um, we've got the monthly pivot, the weekly pivot, but we're just teetering on the daily pivot there, and we're just sitting at the daily open. So currently it's one pip below the daily pivot. So currently it's looking for direction, but we know some degree of accuracy which way it's going to go because of this, and so that could be a trade. Just a trade example how to use this particular tab. um, CAD Swiss, that could be okay. It's suggesting downside for CAD Swiss because we've got reds. Reds are always sell and greens are always buy. So we're quite close to its daily open. How are we looking at the big picture? Quite bearish. Monthly pivot 6255. Okay, so it's got its monthly pivot support. So it's probably might be okay. It might be okay, but ideally, perhaps you probably want it below the monthly pivot. So just something to ponder, to think about. We probably want to avoid that loss because they could continue to get paid on it, which would be unusual, but they can get paid. So I think probably we'll just avoid the losses. Euro CAD could be okay. See, they'd shorted it, and the price is going higher, so they're getting punished. It's a win for us. Win is simply just to say, if they go long and prices fall in, that's a win. So obviously it's just doing the opposite of the herd. And if they sell, price will be going up. If they buy, price will be going down. And that's it. So it's quite simple, very binary. Look at the Euro CAD. So we should be looking for upside. And yeah, strongly bullish, but we've got the monthly pivot. So there. So maybe we could travel up to the monthly pivot. You notice that we've got the daily open and the weekly open. We've got the sentiment behind us. And we had that Eurozone data, which might help. So we come back. Anyway, this doesn't really need to be a long video, but this is what you could do if you look at the trade setups. Maybe avoid the areas in white. You probably want to avoid that because it's just going to be choppy and pretty nasty. And try and get something that's close to its daily open as well. And this setup's great because it works for anyone all around the world because everyone's operating in different time zones. For me, at this time, it's a bit late in the day to open a trade, but it could be good for someone else based around, in the world, dependent on the time that you wake up. So there's one here for Kiwi Swiss, so we should be falling on that. And then, yeah, we're quite bearish, and they're very long. We're below all of the pivots, but we've got to be a little bit careful that the bears are getting profit. They're making money. So normally what should happen is that they don't profit. The bears should be at a loss and the bulls should be at a loss. Now the bulls are certainly at a big loss. They're in big drawdown, but the bears are making some profits. So there are things to consider. Definitely consult charts as well. You wouldn't just enter willy-nilly because it'd be risky, it'd be a bit crazy. So to come down and so the dollar Swiss, so we should be falling on that, but we're not. We're positive, so that could be phony. It could be fake. Come to dollar Swiss, so we know this should be falling. If we look at the volume delta, and we're quite bearish. The monthly pivot is here, 8952. So we could travel down to the monthly pivot, but I'd imagine that should be a good support. If you're shorting, we probably should find some very good support at MP. So hopefully that helps. And we can probably do these videos next week, I think. And remember what I was saying about trying to enter the trade when we're close to its daily open. Because if you enter a trade and we've done like a 1% move, that's a bit crazy because we've already done the move. And if we get a trade that's near its daily open, then we could get a good risk to reward as well. So yeah, and hopefully it helps. And let me know if you've got any questions at all. I won't mind. And have a great weekend. We've got Martin Luther King Day on Monday. So the US Bank's holiday. And of course we've got the Trump inauguration as well. So Monday, Tuesday is going to be Monday's going to be really quiet, and then Monday night going into Tuesday is going to be very volatile, and it's going to be it could be a bit crazy. So just remember to trade safely, and I'll speak to you guys soon.